Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want to talk a little bit about distracted driving again. As you guys saw earlier today I was at the park for a holiday party. Unfortunately, the party was pretty anticlimactic for me. We were told to bring a gift, and I brought a bunch of zinc art that I made to kind of advertise my art at the same time. And I gave everybody there a Buddha, and that was it. And it was kind of anticlimactic, although I did get to market a little bit my art, so it wasn't the end of the world. But there was one thing that I noticed. The reason the party was so anticlimactic was the age brackets of the people there. You got a lot of middle-aged people, and they brought their preteen kind of children, and unfortunately, I'm kind of in between them, right? So that didn't quite work. And but there was one thing that I noticed about distracted driving. Parents of kids drive so much better when their kids are in the car. I don't know how they drive when their kids are not in the car. I would imagine still a lot better than somebody like me. Now, I'm kind of guilty myself. I got into 3 at-fault accidents by the time I was 29 years old. And then I got a girlfriend, and I drove so much safer. She was a good 7 years my junior, and I took really good care of her. She was in the car. I drove so much safer. I still continue to carry the good driving habits that I have with her. Nowadays, I often keep a lot of, inanimate girlfriends in my car, right? Ones that have 83 protons, or sometimes lately I've been working with ones that have 30 protons, right? And I drive so much safer because I don't want that stuff damaged, or I didn't want to get my girlfriend hurt back then, right? Oh, there was another thing that made me drive a whole lot safer. A couple years ago, Let's Go Brandon was threatening to have us all injected with this crap. And it made me worry that if I got myself incapacitated and sent off to the hospital, they would just inject me with that stuff without waiting for me to wake up, right? And that forced me to be a little bit more considerate on the road. But I noticed that you didn't have people stealing parking spots. People were really patient. Nobody honked at you if you took your time. And that's not the kind of behavior. See, even though the 3 accidents I got into were my fault, it occurred to me that none of the drivers were family people. They were similar to in situation as me, right? You had it was always one person in the car. I never got involved in an accident with a family person. I've gotten into 3 accidents that were not my fault in years since, and all of them involve single individuals now that I look back at it. In fact, my last accident, I decided to Google this person's name. Just I probably shouldn't have done that. I feel guilty admitting that I do that because I wanted to just kind of get a sense of what was going on, because he took his sweet old time responding to the claim, and he was very uncooperative. So I decided to Google his name, and I discovered that he had been divorced many years. And the reason he had hit me was that we were leaving the parking lot of Whole Foods, and he couldn't wait to dig into his food. He was eating while driving. That's why my campaign revolves around eating while driving. I'm still bitter about that accident. And it said on his, I found his Facebook and discovered that he had been divorced for a number of years. And then it occurred to me, this guy is a very impulsive person. He wants to eat. He can't wait to even sit down and eat. And it occurred to me that perhaps when he was married, he saw a girl that he liked, he got impulsive, or he developed a food addiction, or maybe even a drug addiction, and couldn't care less about his wife, right? Just like he couldn't care less about the fact that he's driving. He has an impulse to eat, to whatever. And it just occurred to me that, unfortunately, I don't think I need to tell you how many Americans no longer have children or even get into committed relationships. That could be a disaster on the horizon. Fortunately, AI is going to take our keys away from us. Right? That could be our only saving grace in the decades to come. Right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.